I know she's up there. Jeremy Lieber and Michelle Gerlitz on the, what are those, Michelle? Your drums, they are congas. Oh, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning, choir. I'm Reverend Deanne Morency. I am the senior minister here, and as you can tell, the choir is in the house today. So if you're new to Unity, or you perhaps want to know a little bit more about what Unity believes, in the seat backs in front of you, there should be some of these Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life booklets that are there. If you haven't grabbed one yet, they're free. Help yourself. They're really great. I'm in here. Wow, fancy that. But it's little vignettes and little writings to help recenter yourself. Because we're not always here on Sunday, right? So we need the pieces that support us throughout the week so that we can stay centered in what Unity believes. And what Unity believes is that we are here to be loved, to know love, and to love. And that each of us is the living expression of the divine, and that we get to show up in our most authentic self. And we're going to talk more about that today, as to what does that actually mean to live into our authenticity. So without further ado, can we give our choir and Dr. Cindy Acker some love as we step into our community song? Place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place. So one of the things that I love about Unity is that we are choosing to build the capacity within ourselves to hold a whole gamut of experience and ground that and anchor that in spiritual principle. So what that means is that through our practices and our teachings, we are allowing ourselves to be as exuberant and elevated and as zealful as we just were, but that it is also possible for us to center and to quiet and to be still. They're not in polarity. That it's yes and. Can you feel that? and that we can also hold the joy of being together, and we can hold that even as we meet each other's sorrows. So we did get some news this week. For those who knew her, Cheryl Spader made her transition a few days ago, peacefully. Right, peacefully. And we're waiting to hear more word if there will be some sort of a life celebration or something, and we'll be sure to keep the community informed. But we stand in the space of gratitude and appreciation for all that she did for Unity in Marin, for all the ways that she showed up, for all the love that she shared, and for all the ways that she's still here with us. Can you feel that too? That she's still here with us. So we're going to step into our prayer-filled time right now. I'm going to invite the prayer chaplains to rise. I'm going to invite Paula about to come forward with our prayer box. I'm going to invite the prayer chaplains to rise and to encircle the community. I'm also going to invite anybody who feels as if they too are holding consciousness for this planet, for this community. If you're a prayer chaplain somewhere else, if you're a circle on up, if you feel so inclined, we've got the back of the room as well as the sides. And we're just holding this community and Cheryl's family and each other in so much love. So let's take a breath together. So whatever has been stirred up for us, the joy of being together, perhaps the shock at the news, perhaps there's a sense of loss, just allowing the breath to quiet and to create a place, a space where we get to be still. And as we breathe into that stillness, we allow it to grow in our awareness. Quieting the mind, we open the heart. The heart is that space, that place that is love itself. How good it is to anchor love, love that knows no limitations. Love that transcends time and space. And so it is from this consciousness that we bless Cheryl on this magnificent journey that she is still on. And we bless and hold all who may be missing. And we bless and we hold each other. And as we quiet and welcome this love, the invitation is to just feel that interconnection between each other, between every living being on this planet. Love is the harmonizing power. So allowing the harmony both within and without. Whatever it is that you are carrying this day that feels heavy, it feels like it's too much. The invitation right now is to lay the burden down. Place it into the sacred container that is love, that is community, that is connection, this space that is deep enough and wide enough and compassionate enough to hold everything and anything. So place it all into that space. Surrender into the truth of your being. In this moment, I see wholeness where there may seem to be a health challenge. In this moment, I see abundance where there may seem to be lack and limitation. In this moment, I see love and connection and community where there may appear to be separation. And as we rest and agree on this together, we feel it here, now. It's right here. It's right now. It's not tomorrow. It's not the next day. It's right now. How grateful I am for this opportunity to be still and know How grateful I am for this opportunity to bless this community, to bless all who are here, to bless all who are on their way, and to bless all who perhaps are now with us on a completely different dimension, resting in that eternal love. In agreement, the invitation with so much gratitude is to say, and so it is. Amen. Ashe. Thank you, everyone. You may be seated. I'm now going to invite Anne Pirelli to come on forward for our inspirational reading.
Good morning, Unity family.
Good morning.
You're so beautiful. There go my glasses. I see better without them. It is now time for our inspirational reading, a time to let these words become part of your morning reflection, your morning meditation or prayer. I invite you in this moment to take a deep breath and to pause, to close your eyes if you wish. I invite you to let these words become your words. The affirmation for today is, I claim the greatest power, the power of love. In the world around me, there are many forms of power, and yet though I am in this world, I am not of it. Regardless of outward appearances of wealth, strength, or authority, the power of love is the greatest love in the world. I turn my attention to the presence and power, unconditional love that is me. I give up fear and discord in order to know the fullness of love. With faith, I can open to love and harmonize with all, even those who may seem to be my adversaries. For love is the harmony, unifying people one to another. With love, I see the nothingness of petty differences. The power of cooperation and unity is the overflowing love of God in all I say and do. And once again, the affirmation for today is, I claim the greatest power, the power of love. Please know this with me.
I claim the greatest power, the power of love.
And so it is. Oh yeah, it is.
Good morning, Unity. So right now what's coming up for me is the power of order, so give me a moment. Can't help it. So we're going to try this again. Will everyone who's on the welcome team raise your hands? Oh, come on now. Everybody should be raising their hands. Everybody should be raising their hands. Everybody. Thank you. Thank you. The welcome team would like to welcome anyone who's new visiting us today. We love that you're here to share this service with us. We have hospitality right after service. You'll just go out through these doors where Reverend Deanne will be standing and join us out in the courtyard. And if you're first time here, we do have a gift for you. So, and there will also be a board member at the board table just outside the alcove if you have any questions about our community here today. You can also connect with us with text. If you text the word welcome to 415-991-7111, Deanne gets your message and she will respond right back to you. We also have spiritual connection cards that you were handed to you when you came in the door. And on here, there's a little there's a little tear-off section where you can put your prayer requests. There's check marks if you'd like to volunteer or be on the choir, which is rocking today. And your name and address, and someone will reach out to you with whatever questions that you have. And the same thing for those who are online. There's a button there, link you to the same information, and you'll get prayer support. Today's flower sponsor is Yvette and Lee Connor, celebrating their birthdays. Yay, guys. Yay, guys. Awesome. And of course, the flowers were arranged by Pamela. And then our service sponsor is Kevin Seaver, honoring Kevin's wisdom, folks. Yeah, so welcome. Welcome, guys. Unity Marin has a mission statement. Please join with me in stating it. Unity in Marin is a loving community dedicated to spiritual growth, inclusivity, and service. We honor and care for ourselves, each other, and the natural world. And our core values are connectivity, inclusivity, and authenticity. And we will highlight authenticity this morning. And please say this with us. Being true to ourselves, our values, and spirit, we share our voice, gifts, and talents with vulnerability and humility. We value honesty and take responsibility for our choices. We nurture trust by aligning our actions with our values. And at this time, I'll have Reverend Deanne come up to do Sacred Service Spotlight.
So every week, we have so many people who give of their time and their treasure, their talents. So we like to honor each week. Sorry, let me start again, shall I? Each week, we honor someone who is in the midst of sacred service at Unity in Marin. And so this week, we have Larry Polger and Pamela Kavana. And both of them, so remember during our Memorial Day ritual, we planted all those gladiolas. Well, the two of them then took all those gladiolas and they planted the bulbs along the side of the sanctuary. Larry, you're here. You get to stand. Pamela's not here. So can we give them some love? And we're going to invite the choir to come on back up for their next song.
Was one of the songs that the choir sang when they went on tour to the LA area, and they are going to be singing in Belmont soon, and so you will hear much more about that because we're going to debut their set here at Unity.
Woo! I don't need to say anything, do I? Are we ready to go home? But I worked on this talk. So we are in the midst of our 12 Power series, and it arose out of a question that came from Ask the Minister, which was, how does unity understand God? How does unity understand God? So that we can know and feel and sense into that divinity, that presence that is us, that is all around us, that is the connection between each other. All of that is what and how unity understands this idea of God. And if the word God is a trigger for you, substitute it with whatever you like. But the way that unity one of the tools that unity has to be able to grasp the ungraspable is what unity calls the 12 powers. I was actually doing some research, and at one point, Charles Fillmore calls them the 12 centers, which I thought was interesting. How do you center yourself? What is it that you're centered in? And the book that I am along with historical quotes, the other source material is Linda Martella-Witzett's Divine Audacity, which is for sale in the bookstore. If you haven't taken a look at it, it really is a wonderful book. So we started with faith, imagination, and release. This idea of, what do I believe? What's my capacity to imagine and to dream? And then what is my capacity of releasing? And we talked about how these three powers work together to help us understand what the vision for our life is, what the divine idea of our life, of the world is, that we can combine these powers so that we are always becoming more and never less, so that we are always on the leading edge of understanding self and the larger understanding of the world. And if you want to know more about that, you can go back and watch that talk. I'm not going to do it again here. And then last week, we talked about the powers of zeal and order, and about how once we begin to understand there's a vision, there's something calling us that is bigger than what our simple mind can make up. There's something that is ours to be and to do. That zeal is a way to engage and start and get motivated to actually live it, because that is another thing that unity believes, is that we're not here to just talk about stuff. We're here to become it. So zeal it gets us going with something. And then order is our ability to sustain it. Order is how we move from the starting of something into the actual sustained forward momentum. And the thing about order that most people forget is that order is about being able to adjust. So order is not rigid. Order is about pivot. It's about, oh, that's happening. Okay, right here. Oh, what's that? Pivot. And be able to continue forward momentum by pivoting. So can you feel how all of these 5 powers really work together? Can you feel that? One is the vision, the other is part of how you manifest the vision, and that's what we're going to keep working with. How do you access and manifest that vision? So of all the 12 powers, what we have left to look at are love, power, I got to do it this way, yeah. Love, power, understanding, will, and life. Oh, and strength. So today, we're looking at love and power. And that is where my flower child outfit comes from for today. We are looking at love and power. So, love. Unity's understanding of love is different than how most people understand love. Most people understand love to be what we feel as an emotion towards each other. And yes, love is that. But we are looking at love as a power that we have, not an emotion that we experience. So love as a power, as a capacity, as an ability, is the ability to harmonize, attract, and unify. Power, and this is where it gets a little, that's why sometimes we call them the 12 abilities, because if we say the 12 powers and then we get to power, it's a little confusing, but you're all going to roll with me, right? So power is our ability to master, have dominion, and control. Ooh, that feels heavy, doesn't it? Right? To master, have dominion, and control. Can you see why love and power need to work together? Number one. But let's look at more closely what unity's understanding of that kind of language means. So again, these definitions that I'm giving you come from Divine Audacity. So love, the ability to harmonize, attract, and unify. So there's three aspects to it that Linda articulates. The magnetizing power of love, which is how we follow our heart's desire. The harmonizing power of love, which harmonizes our words, our thoughts, our actions, and the power of unity, where we can behold the divinity here and there, right? The divinity I am and the divinity everyone is. Now, in most spiritual communities, beholding the divinity in myself and in others is a staple. There's something about that lives. That it lives on the spiritual level. The magnetizing power of love is one of those attributes that most of us will bring into the material realm. The Secret is an example of the magnetizing power of love being translated into material gain, not spiritual wholeness. Can you feel the difference? So Charles Fillmore says, I've got two quotes as to how Charles Fillmore described love. Love in divine mind, so this is the absolute idea of love, again, it's not an emotion, is the idea of universal unity. In expression, love is the power that joins and binds in divine harmony the universe and everything in it. So can you feel that? So in the absolute, it is universal unity. In its expression, how does universal unity show up in time and in space? It shows up as the binding, harmonizing of the universe and everything in it. Now, we are the expression of God. That love, that is the power that binds and joins, we are it. It's not outside of us. It's not separate from us. It is us. We are the expression of love as the power that joins and binds and harmonizes everything. Charles Fillmore does say that the power of love is stronger than anything. Anything. So the physical representation of love is the heart. And when we think about what the heart does, is it equalizes the circulation of the blood in our body. So Charles makes the equation that just as the heart equalizes the life flow in the body, love harmonizes the thoughts of the mind. Now, we would expand that now to be that love harmonizes our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. Not just what we mentally believe, but love harmonizes all of it. So can you feel the correlation there? So magnetizing power of love often really gets diluted down to, I want, follow my heart's desire. I want that new car. I want that better job. I want that new house. Just breathe with me for a second. Does your heart really want a new car? Or a new house? That's not actually your heart's desire. Your heart's desire is for what's underneath that. So maybe you want security. Maybe you want connection. Maybe you want community. Maybe you want a sense of groundedness. That is your heart's desire. Can you feel the difference? And when we are centered in our true heart's desire, and we access all the other powers, so we allow ourselves the power of order, which means that we pivot. It means that we're always looking for what is that? Where is it? We don't think we know. We can start with an idea of what we think it is, but we have to be willing to shift and to be drawn by the true heart's desire. Now, the harmonizing power of love is the one that I think gets left out the most. And I think that that's actually the most impactful part of love. That each of us can show up in the world as a place of harmony. Charles Fillmore says at one point when he talks about love, he says, love does not ever discriminate. Ever. Love is absolute. So in those moments where you feel yourself discerning around where you're giving or sharing your love, you are not giving yourself over to the full power of love. Can you feel that? Love does not discriminate. Love has no discernment. And Charles even says, and you may be throwing pearls before swine, but it doesn't matter. Love doesn't care. Because love isn't doing it. Love isn't loving to get something. Love is loving because that's what love is. So, can you feel that? Yeah. And then beholding the divine in myself and others, we practice that. So now let's take a look at power. Because all too often how we understand power is how power actually operates in our world, which is almost always power over. Power on top of. Power that has an opposite, which is that which is powerless. What the capacity for power is that we all have is the power of concentration, focus my attention on what is most important. It is the power of self-mastery. And this is really, for me, where power really lives. It's the power of self-mastery. Discipline my mind, and I love what she says here, guard my reactions. Know when to speak up and when to remain quiet. Respond rather than react. Guard your reactions. At first, that language, I was like, guard, that's so not unity. And then I thought about where our reactions come from, and our reactions come from our wounded self. Our reactivity comes from the place that we are that doesn't feel whole, that doesn't feel seen, that doesn't feel recognized. So what if we guarded that wounded place, protected it, so that we understood that, yes, how many people in here do not have trauma? I didn't think anybody would raise their hand, right? We all have some sort of trauma in our life. We are all going to have that place, that space of wounding. And in our interactions with each other, because let's be real, people are irritating. In that interaction, people are going to irritate those wounded spaces. But are we going to react from that? Or are we going to guard that place and do our personal work, self-mastery? Listen, go deeper, so that we're able to be responsive rather than reactive. And if you've taken the Quantum Living class with me, this is what we focus on. How to hold our reactivity. We don't have to make our reactivity go away, but we want to be able to hold that reactivity in a place of healing. And then the last thing is the power of spiritual authority, to tell the truth to myself and others. Now notice how it doesn't say tell my truth to myself and others. It says tell the truth to myself and others. And there's a really big difference here, and I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. So Charles Fillmore says, we are the power of God in action. The power to transform energy from one plane of consciousness to another. So power is our ability to create. It is our birthright to be able to create, because we can transform something from an idea. I think I want to live closer to Unity and Marin. To the reality. We're moving Tuesday, right? So, but that's a power, that's the power to create something that was an idea and actually move it into time and in space. And here's the part that I really love. He goes on to say, the power of the voice controls all the vibratory energies of the organism. We're the organism. Every word that goes forth receives its specific character from the power faculty. You felt it when the choir was singing, didn't you? The power of the voice inhabiting, aligning, that does something. It impacts vibrationally the body, the understanding. All of us, every aspect of us is informed by that. And that's why in Unity, this idea of the spoken word, this idea of extemporaneous prayer that we speak aloud is so important to our tradition, because every word that goes forth receives its character from power. So the more spiritual authority we bring, the more powerful our word is. So none of this move has literally happened in 2 weeks. And Barbara Cedarblade is my prayer chaplain at the moment, because everyone who's a member gets a prayer chaplain if you would like one. And I reached out to Barbara and I voiced it. I said, I would like us to have a new place by the end of the month. I voiced it. It wasn't just something living in my head. It became something that was activated through the power of speaking. Singing is even more powerful. Singing amplifies it even more, as far as I'm concerned. So, can you see how so I've talked about how when we can use our abilities in a way that serves us in a very positive way, and we can use our abilities in a way that undermines us and limits us. Everybody in here is using your power of power. I was weird. Using your ability of power. Everyone in here is already doing that. You are voicing things into the world. You are doing it right now. So, where is your attention focused? What is most important to you? What are you voicing all the time? Is it placed on what the power of love would show us, or are you focused on what's not working? Is that where you are concentrating your attention, on what isn't working? The power of self-mastery. I love how our culture is shifting, and all of a sudden we are allowed in our world now to speak our feelings, which for a long time nobody could say what they actually felt. And people now have more freedom to say, this is what I feel, to speak with their voice, again, right, that's power, to speak what it is that they're feeling. But we also sometimes equate what we're feeling with the truth, rather than understanding that what we're feeling could very well be arising from some of our wounds. Not always. Sometimes what we're feeling is complete, and we've done our work, and we're not being reactive, we are being responsive. But how often do we get caught up in our reactivity? And in our reactivity, we have to tell somebody the truth about who they are. Usually it's what they're not doing, or what they are doing that they shouldn't be doing. And how you know you're in reactivity mode is if you feel as if something or someone is against you. The minute you feel like someone or something is against you, you are not in responsive mode. You are in reaction, which is fine. We all get reactive. Anybody in here not get reactive? We just want to bring consciousness to how we live and breathe into our life, so that we can anchor ourselves more fully in something else. And what that something else is love. We can't have our power disconnected from our understanding of harmony. Now, this came up when we were working on our vision, mission, and core values. Came up around the idea of authenticity. There were people in the community who were legitimately concerned that if authenticity was one of our values, that it would give free rein to those people who feel that they need to authentically tell everybody what a jerk they're being. Where authenticity isn't about being part of a loving community, and we had a lot of discussion around that. And as I was sitting with love and power, I realized that when you combine love and power, what you get is authenticity. That is what it means to be authentic. To share our voices and gifts and talents, that's power, sharing my voice. But we're doing it with vulnerability and humility. We are valuing honesty, love, and we're taking responsibility for our choices. We are understanding that just because we're feeling something doesn't mean that it's real. It means that we are feeling it, and that there's work there for us and work in the world. Don't get me wrong, this is not about shutting down our capacity to call out things that are wrong and not aligned with love in this world. Is everyone hearing me? I'm really being clear. This is not about saying, your experience as being trivialized as a queer woman, that's just your feelings, it's not real. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that before I engage in a conversation with someone around those feelings of being trivialized as a queer woman in the world, I have to do my work. I have to do my work so that I'm not coming from a place of reaction and woundedness, but I am coming from a place of clarity and understanding about love. About love. We nurture trust by aligning our actions with our values. Power is how we activate, and our value is love. So what we are activating, we're saying yes to, is activating harmony, activating unity, activating that place within us that doesn't get caught up in the personal narrative. And that personal narrative is powerful, yes? Really powerful. Like I said, people are irritating. And they're beautiful. And they're unique. And they're inspiring. And they're there to highlight for us something that we're being invited to step into in a whole new way. So power on its own absolutely corrupts. It becomes all about using power to get something. And usually that's at the expense of someone else. What I'm talking about is taking our power, our ability to create, to speak truth. And that truth is the truth of love. That's what we're speaking. That's what we're living. So this is where the fifth principle practice comes in, where we actually need to live the truth we know. And we do that, look around at each other. We do that with each other. Because am I going to screw that up? Yeah, I am. I'm going to screw it up. I'm going to be reactive at some point. I'm going to say something. I'm going to do something. Can you hold me when that happens? Can you make a space for me to let my humanness be? Can you make a space for each other so that we have enough room to allow ourselves to truly be? One of our other values is inclusivity. We can't be inclusive if we're not grounded in love and in our power. We have to speak up and say, we need to make space here. I know it's uncomfortable, but we need to make space here. And then we need to invite people in, again, using our voice, using our capacity to attract and to harmonize. But it's not going to happen like just because we wish it. We have to become it. So we started this series with how are you limiting your vision? How are you playing small in the world? And then we've moved into how are you limiting your capacity to access and manifest this vision? Are you allowing yourself to be truly open? Your heart's desire is never about material things. Your heart's desire is for the qualities of God. It's for love and connection and community, and that's what our heart's desire always is. So can we make enough space to listen to the heart's desire and then use our power to create it, to make it manifest in our world? Not put it off to tomorrow. How many people in here have something that they wish was happening in their life right now, and they keep thinking, someday, someday? Someday is right now. It's right now. It may not look anything like you thought it was going to look. Isn't that fun? Surprises are fun. They can be, if you want them to be. What are you creating for yourself? A place where surprise and the unusual and the sudden actually, my wife and I are so excited about this move. And we have moments where we look at each other and we're like, we're doing this. And we're like, yep, we're doing this. We're doing it. We have no idea what's on the other side of this. We've been living in Oakland for 15 years. We've been living in our house for 10. We have no idea what it's going to be like to rent again. Like, what is that going to be? It's a grand adventure is what it's going to be. Regardless, it's going to be a grand adventure. We're going to discover something about ourselves, about what we want in the world. We're going to be able to hear, is this in alignment with our deepest heart's desire? Does it align? And if it doesn't, guess what? We get to pivot. We get to pivot. Awesome. Yeah? All right, so Michael Beckwith, this is going to be here for the entire time we're doing these 12 powers, because this should be something that you just sear into your consciousness. You can't have anything in life that you are not willing to become in consciousness. If you want connection and community, you have to be it. You have to be that big of a space of love for connection and for community. You can't just expect something to show up in your life if you're not actually being it. This is where that attraction piece comes in. If I am vibrating at this open space of welcome, then guess who is going to be responsive to that? Other people who are vibrating at that open space of welcome. Now, that community may not look anything like we thought it was going to look like, but does that make it any less rich, any less meaningful? I always laugh, Chris and I always laugh, if somebody had tried to set her and I up on a blind date back before we met, and they had listed for her who I was, and they had listed for me who she was, we never would have gone out. We never would have gone out. She would have been like, an actor? I don't get an actor. They're flighty. They're whatever her opinion was, right? They're too creative for me. She whistles. I was like, no, I don't want to live with somebody who whistles. That would drive me nuts. She actually whistles perfectly on key, and she whistles like classical music. Who would have known? Surprises, right? Like, who would have known that? So we always want to keep staying open because we never know what's on the other side. We have to be it. We have to be that space. We have to use our power. We have to use our love. We have to anchor that because does the world need that right now? And what we do in microcosm here is everywhere present in the entire world. Everywhere present. So I'm going to invite Jeremy to come on up. We're going to do a meditation, an invitation to be love, an invitation to be power. So let's take a breath together. And if you wish to, the heart center. So love is anchored in the heart, and power is anchored in the voice. That's where those centers live in our body temple. So just allowing yourself to be aware of your voice, your capacity to speak truth, of your heart, your capacity to hear, to feel into the deepest desires. And as there might be material things that arise, it's okay. We can welcome them, but then lovingly sort of release them and see what's underneath them. What is it that you are truly seeking? Not how you think it will express in time and in space, but at the root of the root, at the heart of your heart. What is it that you desire? So we quiet the mind even more and just listen to the heart. Maybe it's a word, or maybe it's just a feeling. This is part of that divine idea of your life. So the invitation is to just welcome it. So let's just rest here for a few minutes and listen and welcome and be with what is it that our heart is seeking, the truest desire right now. And as we activate the power of love to listen to our heart's desires, we're now going to activate our capacity to give power to it through our voice. So whatever it is that we are saying yes to, that is this love, that is our capacity to create. That could be part of our heart's desire to create with joy. Just allow yourself right now to whisper to yourself, but actually whisper it so that you're using your voice. What is that heart's desire? What is it that you want? Whisper it right now. And if you want to say it a little louder, try saying it a little louder right now. And if you want to say it even louder, say it even louder right now. Voice the heart's desire. Now turn to the person next to you. And if you wish to, you don't have to, share your heart's desire with them right now. Put it out in the world. What is the heart's desire? And if you're watching on live stream, you can tell me I'm catching it on the vibrational level. So we breathe into the infinite potential and infinite possibility, and we know that we are anchored in love. We are anchored in our power to create. And let us say this affirmation together. Get my clicker. I claim the greatest power, the power of love. Can we know this together? I claim the greatest power, the power of love. Okay, everybody stand up and do it one more time. Doesn't have to be louder, just we're thinking about our voice, right? We are empowering this as we say it. And what do we say? I claim the greatest power, the power of love. And so it is. Amen. Let's bring the choir on up.
So this medley, and I have this thing for putting songs together. I just love that. The second part of it, which is The Conqueror, and the first one you will know, it's by Miley Cyrus. The Conqueror was a song that the choir sang many years ago for United Nations Day in Jack London Square.
I can almost see it, that dream I'm dreaming, but there's a voice inside my head saying, you'll never reach it.
Every step I'm taking, every move I make feels lost with no direction. My faith is shaken. But I gotta keep trying, gotta keep my head held high. There's always gonna be another mountain, there's always gonna wanna make it move. There's always gonna be an uphill battle, sometimes you're gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there, ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. These struggles I'm facing, the chances I'm taking might knock me down, oh no, but I'm not breaking. I may not know it, but these are the moments that I'm gonna remember most. But just gotta keep going, and I gotta be strong. Gotta just keep holding on. There's always gonna be another mountain, I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. It ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb.
For we know nothing can separate us from the place claimed by us all. No tribulation or distress, nor persecution, my mind won't waver, for I am more, yes, more than a conqueror. I am more than I am more. Yes, more
uphill battle. Sometimes I'm gonna have to.
Choir, you're on fire today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. In a few moments, I'll be asking our ushers to come forward for our giving and receiving time. We have several ways that you can give here to our community. One being you can use the QR code, unitynmarin.org. Obviously, I'm talking to the online people. Or you can text any amount to 84321. You can use the envelope that you were given in the bulletin, credit card in the courtyard. You can call in to extension 102, or you can mail it in here at our location at 600 Palm Drive. Okay, and now I'll have the ushers come forward, and the choir will sing again. Yay!
We adapted a song called By Your Spirit, and the choir had no music, nor did Jeremy. They only had my scribbles. And so it's a new song for us, but one that we have felt has been extremely moving. I'm going to ask that you not give an applause until the choir has sat back down. And I think you'll know why when you hear it.
We are the song.
We stand in awe of you.
We stand in awe of you.
We stand in awe of you.
Not by might, not by power, by your Spirit, God. Send your Spirit, God. Not by might, not by power, by your Spirit, God. Send your Spirit, God.
Not by might, not by power, by your Spirit, God. Send your Spirit, God. Not by might, not by power, by your Spirit, God. Send your Spirit, God. Not by might, not by power, by your Spirit, God. Send your Spirit, God. Not by might, not by power, by your Spirit, God. I am your Spirit, God.
Wow. 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 Let's take a breath into that one. Wow. Thank you, choir. What a blessing. What a blessing you all are. Thank you. Okay, I got to do my job. I'm going to be sharing with you quickly activities that are going on at our community, and you're all welcome to join in. This is the last opportunity to join Linda Anderson Hendry's class, Funding Your Vision and Happiness and Success, and a great opportunity to pivot and adjust and focus your attention on what is working. Great class. I'm in it. I love it. I love it. For those who are turning 70, bless your little hearts. For those who are turning 70, they're having a planning meeting today. So if you'd like to join in on the planning and celebrate your birthday, join them today at 11:30. That means you were born in 1953. Just check your numbers. Fillmore Room. They're meeting in the Fillmore Room just outside here. And then we are having a new members class Sunday, August 20th. It's a free class, so come and get your questions answered. Save the date. I have 2 save the dates. One is an evening concert with the Copper Women. Remember them? Amazing group. So they'll be here on Saturday evening on August 26th. A second save the date. The choir will be performing on the Bay, right? What happened? Chris, really, Chris? Chris, really? You guys lost a lot of weight. Okay, so.
I sent my wife a text because Cindy reminded me, and I was like, make a slide. You have to make a slide. So did she do awesome?
Yes. It looks like Hallmark Christmas in July movie. Okay. Don't laugh. I know you're watching them. I watch them. Okay, save the date. Choir performance on Sunday, August 27th at noon. And well, please, all the prayer chaplains stand at this time. We want to acknowledge you and also highlight them. They'll be available after service today if you wish to pray with them. They will hold your prayer in confidence and hold whatever is on your heart for 30 to 60 days. So thank you so much for your service. And at this time, I'd like to welcome the youth in, the children. Yes. With Melissa Masters.
So we have a blessing that we say over the youth and the youth that we all are in our hearts of hearts and the youth of the entire world. So please stand if you're willing and able, extend your hands and your hearts as we know this together. You are the perfect expression of divine light. We love you just the way you are.
And let's say our prayer of protection.
The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of
God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. And wherever we are, God is. And let's sing our community song.
We are a loving, inclusive community. We are grateful. Everyone is welcome here. We spread our love into the world. We are one. We are in unity. We are a loving and grateful community. We are grateful. Everyone is welcome here. We spread our love into the world. We are one in unity. We are one. We are one. We are one in unity. We are one. We are one. We are one in unity. We are a loving, exclusive community. We are grateful. Everyone is welcome here. We spread our love into the world. We spread our light into the world. We spread our joy into the world. That too. And we spread our love into the world. Go out and spread your love into the world.
Happy Sunday, everybody. Love for Cindy Acker, please.